So first, our segment tonight on Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun. This released May 23rd on Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC. It was published by Focus Entertainment, was developed by Auric Digital, and it is designed in Unreal Engine 4. It's identified as an action first-person shooter with pixel graphics, as you can see in the gameplay, and is part of the Warhammer 40K series. The game looks and plays, like you see before you, a 90s retro shooter. And yes, we have some gameplay. You're looking at gameplay on the Steam Deck, which is a AMD APU, application processing unit, Zen 2 CPU, 4-core, between 2.4 and 3.5 gigahertz, with a GPU RDNA 2.0, and that has a 1.0 to 1.6 gigahertz clock, and the Steam Deck has 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5. And just so you know, I allotted 4 gigabyte VRAM to this. I'm using crypto utilities at default to improve performance and manage storage through altering the swap file. Fidelity, FX Super Resolution FSR is enabled on the Steam Deck OS for this. And overall, I didn't have to do much. Didn't have to do really anything at all with what I had already set. It's averaging at 60 frames per second on default game settings. So let's talk about the story. It takes place several years after the events of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, and that released in 2011. You play as Malum Cato, and the location is the Forge World Graia, and this takes place several years later. So Forge World is going to look the way it does several years later. And the threats are the orcs and the chaos. They have caused invasions. The opening of the Warp Rift specifically has allowed forces of chaos to open again, causing an invasion of the Forge World. And we talked about the trailer for this game in episode 2 of Last Week in Gaming. And you may remember from that episode the use of the chainsword, the grav cannon, the bolt gun, the plasma gun, and the shotgun. I love this game. I have been really enjoying it, especially on the Steam Deck. Brian, it reminds me of those Doom games from the 90s. Doom 1 and Doom 2 has that feel to it, to me. Though, understandably, it's the Warhammer series, of course. What do you think of the gameplay?
I mean, it reminds me a lot of old school, like Unreal Tournament / Doom and stuff like that. I mean, it's a great little, campy first person shooter. But I mean, if you're a diehard Warhammer fan, or if you're even morbidly curious about Warhammer 40K and you love the old school Doom games, I'd probably say this is the game for you.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You just sit back and have fun shooting enemies with the different guns, and then the close combat melee with the, what is it called? The chainsword. That is fun. It reminds me of Doom Eternal with the chainsaw that you can use up close combat. So yeah, we are in agreement on the on the comparisons of the games. This game with Doom. And that is our segment for Warhammer 40,000 Boltgun. We will